Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 53 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. I'm so happy that you are here to join me for another imperfect episode. I hope you all had a great week. I hope you're having a great Monday to start your week. I am recording this on Sunday, so I had my son's soccer game today, which I always find so much fun. He is so much fun to watch. It's fun to watch all the kids. They really love it, and they're learning so much, and it's really all kind of coming together, which is fun to see and witness and be there for. So that was fun. And yeah, just getting ready to start another week. I hope that your week is going well. I hope your last week went well, and hope it was filled with lots of smiles and laughter and fun times. But then, of course, the other side as well. We want the full 50-50 experience of being human. You got this. All right. So today, let's dive right into this topic. We're going to talk about thought rabbit holes. Now, what are those, right? Well, it's when you can't stop thinking about what upset you. Okay. So what happens when we do that, right? So do you ever find yourself going down a quote-unquote rabbit hole with a story you're telling yourself? Maybe you're ruminating on thoughts, and it almost feels as though you're kind of like playing this argument out with yourself. Do you ever find yourself doing that? I know I have. And before you know it, you're playing this argument out, or you're having all these thoughts and you're ruminating on all of it. You can't stop thinking about it, and you become even more upset. Does that ever happen to you? Well, if so, keep listening, because I'm going to dive into this topic further. I'm going to give you some solutions and strategies as to how not to be as upset maybe, and maybe not go down those rabbit holes, and also some understanding and awareness of why we do this, what is occurring. So we're going to break it all down like I like to do, really dissect it. So let's use an example to look at this further. So something occurs in your life. So for an example, let's just use your spouse was late. They told you they would be home at a certain time, and they're late. They didn't arrive at the time they said. Maybe you have something going on in your life that you wanted them home at that time. Whatever it may be, right? Now you can think of something in your life maybe that has occurred. Maybe somebody said something to you or behaved in a certain way. Okay? So while we go through this, you can apply this to your life as well. So for this example, your spouse was late. Then you have a thought such as, he's not respecting my time, and he should. Which is basically saying he is wrong and shouldn't have behaved that way, right? Now, when you think these thoughts, it creates a feeling for you, right? So when you think he is wrong and shouldn't have behaved that way, or he's not respecting my time and he should, it's going to create some feeling. Now, maybe that feeling is annoyed, or maybe it's upset, or hurt, or disappointed, or angry, right? And here's where you may start to travel down that rabbit hole in your mind, that thought rabbit hole. The next thing you know, you have this whole story surrounding this situation with thoughts such as they are inconsiderate, or he should be on time and shouldn't be late, or they don't care about me, or I'm not a priority. These are just examples, right? And when you think these thoughts, this story that you've created, you become even more upset. This is the scenario, the example that we're going with. Again, apply your own, right? So first off, please know that nothing is wrong with you if you do this. Nothing at all is wrong with you. I know I personally have gone down thought rabbit holes before, probably countless times. So if this is you, if this happens to you, if you do this, if you find yourself ever going down these thought rabbit holes, just know we have all been there. This is normal and common, and you are not alone. You are actually healthy. Your brain is simply doing its normal, healthy human brain thing. You are healthy if you do this. So don't beat yourself up. Don't put yourself down. Just know this is normal. This is being human. Your brain is doing its job. So what is actually happening? And how do we avoid being more upset? Those are some key questions, right? So let's look at the first part. What is actually happening? And then I will give you some solutions and some strategies on how to not be more upset, which tends to be where we want to go, right? Being upset isn't usually a fun feeling. So we're going to work on not piling on and compounding being upset. Okay. So when we think a thought such as, they are wrong and shouldn't do that, our healthy human brains want to be efficient and right. So in order to be quote unquote right, we start to gather evidence to support this thought. We start to gather evidence to support the thought they are wrong and shouldn't do that. We find ways in which they are wrong and shouldn't do that, right? We may venture into our past to find other times they did this or compare their behavior to ours, right? And how we wouldn't do that. You may find other times that they were late, right? You're finding that evidence, for example, and we pile on this evidence in our heads. The more evidence we find leads to more thoughts that are in that same family, that same group as this original thought. They are wrong and shouldn't do that. So such as these thoughts could look like they should not be late. They just shouldn't be late, right? You may believe that. They should be on time and they shouldn't be late. They don't care about me. I am not a priority. So these supporting thoughts or the story you've created will come because you're finding that evidence when you're traveling down that thought rabbit hole. And then as you can imagine, when this whole rabbit hole story has created feelings of being more upset, they intensify the feelings of being more upset. They may grow, turn into maybe anger, as I mentioned earlier. So the more thoughts we have, the bigger our story becomes, and the more upset we get. That's us traveling down that thought rabbit hole. Now, this is what is occurring, right? But why does this happen? Why do we do this? Well, having, as I said, a healthy brain, having this healthy brain means we want to be efficient and right, as I mentioned earlier, as I touched on. And this is being healthy. This is how our brains were programmed and designed. And this way of being, this way our healthy brains are, it served us. It served us as cave people. It served us a long time ago when we needed to rely on these tactics, right, to survive. We needed our brain to be right and be efficient for us to survive, to stay alive. But nowadays, it's not as necessary all the time. We don't need to be thinking about our survival all the time. It's not life or death most of the time. If your spouse is late, it's probably not life or death. Now, let me put a disclaimer here. If it is, this podcast is probably not the one to be listening to right now. But if it's not life or death, right? If you're living in this current modern world, we usually don't need to go to the tactics of it being life or death, right? Our brain is trying to keep us alive, and it sometimes is just misinformed a bit. But now we know why. We know our brain was programmed and designed that way. It's healthy, and it just wants to keep us alive for survival. So being aware that first, nothing is wrong with you when you venture down that thought rabbit hole. And secondly, knowing why we tend to do this. These two truth bombs, maybe, lack of a better word, can sometimes be enough to give some people that relief that they want. By simply knowing and understanding this about ourselves. We know why. Okay, I get it now. I understand why I'm doing this. And nothing is wrong with me. But if you want more, I got you. The cool thing about being a human is we can override our lower brain, right? This brain that is trying to keep us alive for survival, this caveman brain or cave person brain. We can override this lower brain with our prefrontal cortex. And we can make decisions consciously that will actually benefit us nowadays in this current modern non-cave person world that we live in. So keep listening if you want some helpful tips and solutions for when you start going down this rabbit hole of thoughts to avoid compounding your upset feelings. So if you notice yourself piling on thoughts to support your story, I suggest to simply be the watcher of these thoughts. See them, notice them. You can kind of step outside of your body a bit, not truly, of course, but and just notice, oh, these are my thoughts. These are what I'm thinking. Notice what you're thinking. Be aware of your thoughts and just see them. Watch them. Let the thoughts come. Just allow them to be there. And let yourself see them. Be fascinated and curious with them. This being the watcher is creating this awareness, which is going to give you that leverage and that authority, that control, right? Over your decisions, over your life, over how you're going to show up, over how you're going to feel. So this is important. Allow them to come. Don't hide. Don't push them away. But really shine that light on those thoughts. See them for what they are. They're just thoughts. When you see them, as I said, you can have authority over them. And that's when you have true control. So know that your brain is doing its job by wanting to be efficient and right. So when you see these thoughts, just know that your brain is doing its job. It's healthy, and it's doing what it was programmed and designed to do, to keep you alive. But you're human and you have this prefrontal cortex and you know better. You know that you can decide intentionally, deliberately. And then you can separate out what is factual and what is not, right? What is just a thought that you have. Know that your thoughts are optional. And you can see what is true, what is a fact, and what is a thought. Then I suggest allow your feelings to be within you as this vibration in your body. Now, this is important. We do not want to skip over this step. Because when we don't allow our feelings, they will come back. So allow that feeling. You are strong and you can handle any feeling. You do not need to push it away. You do not need to resist it. You can let the vibration be within your body. Notice where it is. Breathe into it. Notice that it is simply a vibration. You don't need to react to it. You don't need to avoid it or resist it. You can allow it to be there. So you are upset. You feel upset because you're thinking a thought about something that occurred, about something that was said, about someone's behavior. That's all. That's what is occurring. Sometimes when we can really simplify it, it gives us an easier path. At least for me, it does. I can break it down a little bit more and say, okay, I can handle this. I'm having a vibration because I'm thinking a thought because about something that occurred, about something that someone did or said. Now, lastly, talk to your brain instead of just listening. So at first I said, be the watcher, right? Have that awareness, create that awareness. Listen, see, watch. Watch what your brain is saying. Now I want you to talk to your brain. Question your original thought. One of my favorite questions is, how could you be wrong about this thought? So ask yourself, how could I be wrong about this thought? Whatever thought that you are thinking, right? And then decide intentionally how you want to think. Decide intentionally how you want to feel, how you want to show up for yourself. Now, you don't need to rush here. You can let yourself feel however you're feeling, upset, hurt, disappointed, angry, for as long as you feel you need to. And then when you're ready, you can decide how you want to think, feel, and show up for yourself. You have the power to choose on purpose. So if you notice yourself going down these rabbit holes, you have a choice on how you want to behave. If you want to actually go down the rabbit hole. If you want to pile on those feelings and become even more upset, that is an option. And then the other option is you also can take these steps, can apply these strategies, and maybe it'll take you in a different way. The other day I found my mind inching towards a thought rabbit hole, but I was able to take control by applying these strategies. So try them out if you want. You can take your control back, empower yourself. You don't have to be the passenger to your thoughts. You don't need to go down that thought rabbit hole if you don't want to. I always like to say and remember that what we focus on, we will create more of. And what I mean by that is the thoughts we're thinking, if we go down that rabbit hole of thoughts, we're going to create more of that, right? We're going to create more upset feelings for ourselves. But if we can allow the feelings to be there. Watch our thoughts, allow those feelings to be there. Really be present in that moment and talk to our brains, talk to ourselves. Question our thoughts. How could you be wrong about this thought? And then decide intentionally. You can take control. You have the power to do so. So feel free to apply these. Try them out. See if they work for you. You don't need to go down the thought rabbit holes if you don't want to. These are just some strategies and some solutions that I find work very well. So give it a try, and I hope they help. I hope they work for you. And if you want to take this further, if you want to get one-on-one coaching and really apply these to your relationship and to your life and create what you want, what you desire, what you deserve, I'm here for you. I got you. So head on over to whitneywellscoaching.com, schedule a free coaching session, and we can chat, and I can tell you about the program that I offer. There are only limited spots, so if you are interested, I suggest jumping on that. And if those are full, we can definitely put you on the waiting list for the next session when those are opened up. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at whitney@whitneywellscoaching.com, and I will see you next week. Enjoy your week. Talk to you soon. Bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.